Tony Marcelli built his construction company from nothing. Started in 1987 with a pickup truck and a toolbox. 37 years later, Marcelli Construction employed 45 people: electricians, carpenters, project managers, office staff, families who depended on Tony for their livelihoods. The company was worth $2.80 million. Tony owned it all. Every truck, every tool, every truck, every tool, every contract. His name was on everything. At 69, Tony still worked 6 days a week, still bid on every major project himself, still made every important decision. "Nobody knows this business like I do," he'd tell his foreman, Jake. "I built this company with my own hands." Tony's son, Michael, had worked for the company since high school. Started as a laborer, worked his way up to operations manager. Everyone assumed Michael would take over someday. But Tony never made it official. No legal documents, no ownership transfer, no succession plan. "There's plenty of time for that," Tony would say. "I'm not going anywhere anytime soon." Tony's daughter Lisa worked in the office. She handled payroll, insurance, vendor payments. She knew the financial side better than anyone. But Tony kept the big picture to himself. Bank relationships, major client contracts, company strategy. Only Tony knew how it all fit together. On a Tuesday morning in March, Tony was inspecting a job site. A heart attack took him instantly. Gone at 69, just like his own father. The funeral was packed. Clients, employees, competitors, suppliers. Everyone respected Tony Marcelli. But respect doesn't run a business. The problem started immediately. Tony's company checking account was frozen. His signature was required for all major transactions. Payroll was due in 3 days. Lisa couldn't access the funds without probate court approval. Michael tried to keep projects moving, but clients started getting nervous. Who was in charge now? Who would guarantee the work? Who would honor the warranties? The company's biggest client, a commercial developer, canceled their $400,000 contract. "We need assurance that projects will be completed," they explained. "Without Tony, we don't have that confidence." Other clients followed. $800,000 in active contracts were terminated within 2 weeks. The employees were terrified. Jake had worked for Tony for 22 years. He had a mortgage, kids in college, a wife with medical bills. "What happens to us?" he asked Michael. Michael didn't know. The company assets were tied up in probate. Even if Michael inherited everything, the business was bleeding money daily. No new contracts coming in. Existing projects stalled without client confidence. Fixed costs, rent, insurance, equipment payments continued. $47,000 per month in overhead with no revenue. The bank called the business loans. Without Tony's personal guarantee, they wanted immediate payment. $320,000 in equipment financing. $180,000 in working capital loans. Money the company didn't have without active projects. Lisa worked frantically with lawyers and accountants. But probate moves slowly. Business moves fast. By the time the legal issues were sorted out, there was nothing left to inherit. Marcelli Construction closed after 6 months. 37 years of business building. Gone. Scattered to competitors. The client list scattered to competitors. The reputation Tony spent decades building evaporated. 45 employees lost their jobs. Jake, the 22-year veteran, was 58 years old. Too young to retire, too old to easily find new work. He lost his house 6 months later. Michael got a job with a former competitor, making $60,000 a year instead of inheriting a $2.80 million company. Lisa moved to another state. Couldn't bear to watch Tony's legacy crumble every day. The worst part, The solution was simple. A business succession plan would have cost $15,000. Legal documents transferring ownership gradually. Key man life insurance to fund the transition. Management agreements giving Michael authority. Client relationship documentation. Standard business planning that Tony kept postponing. $15,000 in planning could have saved $2.80 million in value. Could have preserved 45 jobs. Could have protected Tony's life work. Instead, Tony's dream became everyone's nightmare. If you own a business, listen carefully. Your company will not survive your death without plan. Clients need confidence in continuity. Banks need guarantees beyond your personal signature. Employees need leadership certainty. Create a succession plan while you're healthy. Transfer ownership gradually to reduce tax impact. Carry life insurance to fund business transitions. Document your key relationships and procedures. Train your successors while you're still there to guide them. Your business is more than an asset. It's jobs, families, livelihoods, communities. Don't let your life's work die with you. Plan the transition before you need one, before you die.